Right, well, good morning and welcome to this week's video. So a bit of an upgrade video today. So we're going to be working on the truck. We're going to be increasing our power bank in the back of the truck. So currently I'm running a 100-watt solar panel on top of the roof tent, and that's supplying the R600 by All Powers in the back, but it's not really enough. So I needed to increase what I can store in the back, and obviously I've wanted to increase the use of the solar as well. So that's where we come along with a company called Lensun Solar, which have supplied me with a specific bonnet mounted solar panel specifically for the D-Max here, and they make them for many different overlanding vehicles as well, so I'll stick a link to them in the description there below. So let's just go back a couple of days, let's have a look at getting the bonnet mounted solar panel installed, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what we've done in the back. A little bit of prep work first, just got to take off the insect guard first, and then we'll start to have a look at how we install this Lensun solar panel onto the D-Max. So first we'll just take the insect guard off. And then next, really important to give your bonnet, the area where your panel is going, a good old clean. Make sure it is really, really clean, because what we're going to do is going to stick a decal down first, so you're not actually sticking your solar panel directly onto your bonnet. So you got this decal, so basically this is just like sticky back plastic, and I wish I knew about this method before I installed the solar panel on the roof tent there. So basically what you're doing is you stick this down onto the bonnet, and then your solar panel goes on top of it. So if you want to remove it at any stage, you can just peel off the sticky back plastic and your bonnet's safe. I wish I would have known that when I put the solar panel on the roof tent, because I would have laid something like this down instead of gluing it directly to the roof tent. So basically this comes all rolled up, so what you want to do is just lay it out like this, put some weight on it just so it goes a little bit flat, and then we can then start to prepare it so we can get it onto the bonnet. So as you can see from the decal, it is specifically cut to fit into the grooves on the front of the bonnet here. So all I'm doing now is just measuring where the groove is on the side here, that we are exactly the same on each side, and that the distance along the top there is exactly the same as well. And the next thing I'm going to do is just cut off this excess paper. So what we're going to do now is run a piece of masking tape across the bottom of the decal, and that's going to hold it in place when we pull it back. And then we can slowly start to peel the decal back. And as we get to about there, just going to start spraying some soapy water, and use this as generously as you can, and then we'll pull it back a bit more. A bit more. Keep spraying as you go until you're pretty much ready to hang over the front of the bonnet, like so. And then now we can just remove the backing, and then with your squeegee that comes in the pack, you can start to get all of the bubbles out. Just work from the middle, and that's obviously going to get most of the water out from inside. And there we are. If you've got a tricky bit, like just here, that just won't come out, grab yourself a hairdryer, and just on a medium heat, just start to apply a little bit of heat and just guide that down. Right, so that's the decal on. So we'll just give that a wipe down. And now we can have a look at getting the solar panel on the top. Right, so we'll just put the solar panel on. Now you can see from the size of the decal compared to the size of the solar panel, there's plenty of space. Now obviously I've got the insect guard down the front there, so I want this up as high as I possibly can. So that's going to be about yay. And then obviously that's not going to hit the bend on the front of the bonnet as well. Right, so before we stick this down, we've got to stick the sticky tape on the other side, so we'll do that just now. First thing we're going to do, we've just got an alcohol wipe. We're just going to give, especially the sides, a good old clean. So as for the tape, we've got some 3M double-sided tape here. Now this doesn't come with a solar panel, so you have to buy this separately. And I'll stick a link to this in the description, along with all of the other bits that I'm using for this install here as well. So we're going to stick this on, but I'm going to leave a 5mm gap just around the edge of the solar panel there. And that's once that's actually stuck into place, that we can then run a bead of silicone around the edge, and then that will just get underneath it there, and that will just help to adhere the panel to the decal there. Right, so just let this dry off, and we'll start to get the tape on. Right, so before we stick it down, just offer the solar panel up onto the bonnet, get it into the position that you want, and then we're going to take the good old-fashioned masking tape again, and then what we're going to do is then just fold the solar panel back and then start to take all the backing off all of the tape, and then making sure your hinge hasn't slipped, you can start to lay the solar panel down. Bringing it down, now you can see the front bit is not wanting to stick because it's going to take time to mold into the shape of the bonnet. So what we're going to do is stick a load of weight on the front there. So we'll cover it up so we don't damage the panel. Okay, right, we'll leave that overnight and we'll come back to that in the morning. Pretty much siliconed all the way around. I've just got a little bit to do here. I've had to put some silicone just down and put some weight on it there because it hasn't stuck to the decal very well there, and at the front there is a little bit tricky, but that will be hidden by the insect guard on the front there. So a fairly easy installation really. Just remember that this one is made specifically for the Isuzu D-Max, and Lensun Solar, they do produce a load of solar panels for all different types of 4x4, so please do have a look at their website. There's a link to that in the description, and don't forget the 10% discount code, and the code's Wildmark, and it's at the bottom of the screen there. So all we've got to do now is wait for this to cure, and then we'll just tidy up the silicone around there, and then we'll look to wiring it up. Now normally you would wire this via a controller to your battery there, so it keeps your battery in your pickup pretty much charged all the time. But what we're going to do is we're going to run this underneath, and then in the power box that we're building at the back of the truck there, that's going to work parallel with the 100-watt panel that's on the top of the tent box cargo there, and that's going to give me a nice power bank all in the back of the truck. So that's the final bit of silicone done on the Lensun Solar 100-watt panel for the D-Max there. Now what should happen is that panel should be plugged directly into the solar controller. Now this is an optional extra, this is you have to buy this separately. So this should be under the bonnet, and then that plugs directly into the solar panel, and then you've got your feeds here for your battery. Now this is Bluetooth here, so it's got a little receiver here for the Bluetooth there, so you can connect this to an app, so you can see your drawer, you can see your input and everything from it as well. Select what type of battery that you're trying to trickle charge off this as well. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to run this to the back of the truck into the power box that I've built there. So there we go. So that's all fully installed and running back through to the power box in the back of the truck there, working alongside the 100-watt panel on top of the roof tent. So that's 200 watts of solar power that we can drag out of this absolutely beautiful winter sun that we've got. And then if you take a look at the app there, you can see, you know, what's being discharged, how much wattage you're getting through it. You can control your load on the solar controller as well. So I've actually wired in the power cable that's up in the roof tent there, so I can turn that on and off using the app as well. So it's really well worth having. So right, well, walking you around the back, let's have a look at what we've done in the back. Now, I'm no carpenter, and I'm quite impressed with what I've done here. Now have a look at this. Right, so in the back of the truck here, what I've done is I've built this box in the back of the truck here. So inside of that, you've got a 110 amp leisure battery inside of there. So both of the panels are plugged into that via the controller. And that's got its little Bluetooth receiver as well. So it has a limited range, the Bluetooth receiver, but you can easily from inside the truck there pick up the signal and see what's going on with your solar power there. So electric wise, we've got a 12 volt cigarette adapter there, so that's used to power the fridge while we're driving. You've got your LED panel on there that shows you your battery voltage, 2 USB, and then you've got your on-off switch there as well. We've got a 240 in there, so that takes your standard caravan camper van cable there. So you've got a 240 out coming from there as well, and there's also a 240 supply running to a battery charger inside of the box there, and that will charge the battery once it's plugged into 240 as well, and that's all fused and got its own on-off switch there as well. Taking the top off there, which is just magnets on the bottom, you can see you've got the solar controller there, which is going to the battery, and the battery charger is down there. There we've got a 12 volt to USB connector, and then that runs all the way up into the roof tent. Right, so there we go. So thank you for watching this week's video. I hope it's been helpful if you're thinking about installing one of the Lensun solar bonnet mounted solar panels onto your truck. It is really, really simple to do, and please don't forget the 10% discount code Wildmark, and that is in the description as well there. So thank you for watching. My name is Martin. I'm into my hiking, my fishing, my bushcraft, my pack rafting, my roof tent camping. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time on the next one.